So there's a number of improvements that PermaGreen did from the Magnum on the right to the Triumph on the left. First of all, you can see right away that the height is much lower with the Triumph. And one of the advantages is the fact that you can see better in front of you. So I'm gonna go stand on the back of the PermaGreen Magnum. And so if you take a look at the line on the driveway in that shot, and then the line on the driveway here, you can see your vantage is much better for seeing weeds as they come along if you're spot spraying with the machine. Another thing that they improved on with the Magnum, this plate right here would cake up with product, and then it would kind of fall forward when you make a sharp turn, and it would go all over the lawn, and then you'd have a burn mark. So I solved that problem by putting a plate here, so it kind of guided the buildup, which would mostly be on the left side, and it would guide the buildup if it let loose into this little tray here that's removable, and then you can just dump it out. Usually every other bag. It's kind of a pain, but it's better than burning the lawn. And then the other problem was with the Magnum, the granules would roll off the top of here, because some of them would hit this plate, roll off the top of here, hit the tire, and go flinging into the wherever you don't want them to go. Especially when you've got the side guard down over here, you'd have the side guard down, but the granules would still roll off of this plate here and onto the tire and go like flinging onto a driveway, even with the side guard down. So what I did here also was fixing that problem, so it doesn't happen. But the PermaGreen people had a very ingenious solution to both of those problems. For one thing, they now have the plate lower than the tire, so they don't go pinging off onto the tire into the where you don't want them, with the side guard down especially. And the other thing is, they put this little bump thing here, so as the impeller spins around, it hits the whole plate, and so that knocks off any granules that might be building up. Very ingenious. Mine was a lot more elaborate, and theirs is very simple to fix the actually both of those issues. One of the other things I improved was the shifter. For those of you that are familiar with the shifter on the Magnum, it's this horizontal bar right here, and that's how you had to shift. You either kick it with your foot or reach down there. It wasn't very convenient, so I just welded on a piece of square stock and made this handle, simple handle that just bends down like that with a spring on it to bring it back. And so then you can, it's just easier to shift when you're standing on the machine than the way it was originally designed. They changed it all around by putting the handle up here for shifting on the Triumph, which is much easier. Another alteration I made to the Magnum was they want you to fill the bottle, the squeeze bottle, which is here, they want you to fill that way down here. So you have to kind of have one hand on the bottle down here and another hand on the throttle up here to fill the bottle, and it's just not very convenient. So I kind of rerouted some plumbing, and I brought a line up here and over to here, and then put this valve on here so I can be standing up while I fill the bottle. I wish they had done something with the Triumph, but it's the same thing. they want you to fill it way down here. So I did the same thing. I ran a line up here and over to a valve. So I did find that it's good to put a little wire on here because you can accidentally knock into this and then you've got herbicide going all over the place. So this works, simple solution. I'm sure somebody that does this for a living would have a better way of doing it. One of the things they changed with the Triumph is the wheelbase. It's longer. So you can see the front tires are lined up there, but when you come back here, the Triumph's tires are back 4 or 5 inches. I think they did that to give it more stability when you're riding, and it does have a much stabler ride. Just a heads up that it changes your turning radius. So the Magnum was had a real sharp turning radius, and the Magnum, there's a bit of a learning curve to learn that you can't have quite as tight of a turn, but it's worth it, I suppose, because the ride is so much more stable.